Girasol, haven't you joined Clube dos Girasóis yet? You're missing out. I make exclusive predictions there. Predictions that will knock you off your chair. They're really hot. Everyone who subscribes to Clube dos Girasóis gets a 20% discount on everything Cigana offers. 20% off on consultations, and yes, priority scheduling, 20% off on signature analysis, on light mandalas. And you have access to another ritual that I only do for those who are part of Clube dos Girasóis. No censorship, no ads. And you really stay ahead with predictions for Brazil and around the world. So I'll be waiting for you in Clube dos Girasóis, and you really will be surprised. Yes. Sunflowers, all the light in the world, the peace and blessing of holy sages from all of us gypsies. Look at this Cigana Sulamita here thanking each one of you. Who trusts Cigana Sulamita? Who allows me to enter your home? And who cares about Cigana Sulamita? And some comments, Sulamita, you seem a bit down. Have you been sick? We're worried. No. Have you already done renovations? No, Socorro. Cigana Sulamita is going through a phase, right? I had already mentioned 3 years ago that we bought an apartment off plan, right? And now it's time for renovations because when the apartment is delivered by the construction company, it comes empty, right? And it made me say, I wonder what's wrong with some people who work in construction. I think about a lack of light. Take some light, girl, take some light, because look, Sulamita the gypsy laughed. Sulamita the gypsy cried. Sulamita the gypsy ended up in the hospital with her blood pressure sky high, 16 and almost dying. Look, it's not easy, is it? It's really not easy. So, starting next week, Cigana Sulamita will have her life back to normal, and, everything will be calmer, much calmer. I'm going to show you Sulamita the gypsy's new house. Of course, I couldn't miss showing it to you, but Sulamita the gypsy gets tired too, right? Because look, only those who have been through a renovation, right? When you're rich, right, you just pay and everything gets done, right? But when you have to bargain here, chase things down there, do this, do that, right? Look, I'm not bragging, but the gypsy's house is turning out so cute and I'm going to show it to you, okay? So, I ask for your understanding and my eternal gratitude for your concern. But it's not because Cigana Sulamita is sick, it's just stress, really busy, but it's almost over, right? And it's for a good reason. We're going to a quieter, safer place because living in the city of São Paulo at home is complicated, right? And so, even for my son, a 10-year-old with autism, he's always stuck inside, poor thing, right? Inside the house, at least the condo complex has a little play area, right? That's it, that's what it's about, okay? But thank you so much to each of you who care about Cigana, who help us in any way to make this channel grow more and more every day. May you receive triple in return, in peace, love, health, and blessings in your lives. Zoo, bye. Well, you asked about the case, right? It's not 2 nor 3. There are 10 scientists who simply... Some disappeared, others showed up, right? Passed away under suspicious circumstances, and all of them were scientists or defense engineers in NASA's nuclear programs. This has been happening since 2023. Well, let's take a general look at this. I'm tuned into NASA's energy because there are many people who have passed away. Others showed up and supposedly passed away too. What is it? It's a conspiracy theory they were abducted. There has to be an explanation, and this isn't an analysis show. Here we make predictions. Through the sphere of light, everyone knows I am a bridge. I pass on to you what the sphere of light allows me to see and reveal. So let's go, with your permission. I'm also really curious to know what happened to those 10 scientists, some who disappeared and others who turned up dead. And of course, under suspicious circumstances, right? It's complicated, isn't it? Complicated? Let's see then what our sphere of light reveals to us. 2 gypsy decks today.
I ask the mentors of light to use me as an instrument through this gypsy deck to bring predictions, revelations, precise and objective about what really happened with the 10 NASA scientists.
What really happened? Please, use me as an instrument, so be it. Oh, it won't go, oh, so it shall be. Thank God, Opcha, timing. I don't even need to say that the energy is way too heavy, right? And when it comes to suspicious deaths, well, not just suspicious, right? Someone takes one of these guys' lives, but why? Are they people with tremendous intelligence working for NASA? What do you mean? Since 2023-10? I asked the spirit guides to make us an instrument. Oops. Now, through this gypsy deck, to bring precise and objective predictions. Revelations about what really happened to the 10 NASA scientists, some missing, others dead. Please, use me as an instrument, so it is, so it will be. One's about to fall, right? I'll just leave it here without checking which one, okay? Look, 2, I think those 2 that I picked up, right? Yeah, spirituality is just too precious. When the cards have to come out, they have to come out. Only 1 goes here because 2 already came out in my hand. I dropped 1 before I put it back in the deck. And when Spirit wants these cards to come out, there's no way around it. Oh. Then black smoke will really come out. It'll get shiny. Mine looks nice here, the guardian angel one. We're talking about people who lost their lives. Actually, their lives were taken, right? That's a fact, isn't it? We need to know what happened. What motivated this? Right? Anyway, only 1 goes here, okay? Because the other 2 had already fallen. I want to apologize to my dear clients. There are a lot of people wanting a consultation, right? Like I said, these last few weeks, especially in the past 2 weeks, Cigana Sulamita has been, it's been hard. In a way, it's hard, right? Very hard. So, since I didn't say it before, I apologize because many people needed it, right? Even for emergency appointments. But I couldn't do it. There was just no way, right? Because, do you understand? Today after lunch, I sat down. On the couch, I fell asleep sitting up. I'm so exhausted. I'm so overwhelmed, with so many things to deal with, right? Anyway, you get it, right? But starting next week, things will get back to normal and everything will be fine. So I apologize to all of you I truly wasn't able to see. Really, okay? Let's go. Remember the 2 that fell out? I'll show you in a second. They fell out the first time when I was shuffling. I put them back in the deck. And then they fell out again. And then... Good thing I'm Brazilian, right?
Why?
If I were American, if I lived in the United States, I couldn't bring what I'm bringing here. Who am I, a humble gypsy woman talking about the United States? Hey! Here I take it to Clube dos Girasóis, which you know is where the shocking predictions are, right? But these are predictions that I can't bring here on YouTube because we live in this limited democracy, right? However, I wouldn't make this kind of content today if I lived there. Okay, the cards that came up twice are card 9 and card 10. 9, as everyone knows, I'm also an astrologer and Kabbalistic numerologist. The number 9 in Kabbalistic numerology is related to the end of a cycle. In fact, we have personal years that start at year 1 and go up to year 9, and year 9 is the closing of a cycle. But in the Lenormand deck, house 9 is also related to the end. In other words, it's really about shutting up, okay? A cutoff, total silence. In other words, it's clear. Clear! Here I see an alliance. The birds, okay? It has nothing to do with hearing UFOs. I've already made a prediction here. There are more than 1,500 videos. In other words, more than 1,500 predictions from the fortune teller. I've already made a prediction here about Area 51 in the United States. Just click on videos down below and you'll find it. It's been a few years since I made that prediction. In the same way that I already made a prediction about a boy whose name I forgot now, he ran away, but it was here in Brazil, and I saw that this boy was actually abducted. Okay? So yes, there is life outside of Earth, absolutely for sure, okay? But in the case of these 10 scientists, okay? Huh? In other words, we already saw it from those 2 cards that came up here, right? That they were silenced. It's that simple. So, are all the disappearances and deaths connected? And I don't know, I haven't researched each of them. I took up the topic and did a reading on it here for you, but I can guarantee that if someone showed up here as taking their own life, I have a feeling. Another thing, the United States will try to make it happen because they're on top of the case now, right? And I don't know how President Donald Trump responded. Please understand. I'll repeat it for you. Here I make predictions and bring many things to the government over generations because I don't know what the prediction will reveal. And I'm not here once again to let anyone off the hook. I like Donald Trump. I think he's essential for bringing down certain regimes. And to help us. Not because he loves Brazil passionately, because we have, the most beautiful women. It's not about that. It's because we have rare earths. We have natural resources that no other country in the world has. So look who helped Brazil. Right? Besides, the business with Brazil. So it's not out of love. But I'm not going to let the United States government off the hook, no. But it didn't just start now? So it's not, let's say, Donald Trump's fault. This has been happening since 2023. However, they will try. I don't know what they'll come up with, what the media will say, but I can already see it here in the House. 37, 44. And 13 from the child brings closure with innocence, getting out of the way, but that's not it, okay? I didn't say it like that. 48. 53, 54. What I'm saying is 57, 58, 59, okay? 62, 63, 65, 72, 74, 76, 78. 72, 79, 90, 92. Here I'm making predictions. That's why many more serious predictions I do over there. 95, 96, 98. 99, 100, 12, 12, 13, 14. I'm talking about everything because 15. It's without 16. On the tongue, 17, 18. 19, 20.
21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 27, 28, 29, 30, right? But anyway.
In other words, I see the house of rats. House 22, 31, house 47, 54, 57, 58, 56. Here I see 61. 70, 71, 73. 75, 76, 79, 80, 80, 80.
96, 97, 98, 98 in the middle, 91 military, 92.
93, 94. 95, 96, 97. 100, 112, 25, 29, 32, 33, 33. Hey, everything is connected. You can be sure of that, okay? So they 36, give 37, 38. Thank you. You can be sure of that, okay? 42. 43, 44, 44, 45, 47, 49, 50. 52, 52. 53, 55, 56, 57, 58.
Muitos vão cair.
56.
O que esses...
64, 67, 68, 69, 70, 72, 74.
E o porquê?
73, 74. 77, 85, 87, 88, 90, 92, 92.
Desaparece.
94. 115, 16, 21, 22. I have house 9 here again. End of a cycle. But calm down, I'll leave it here. That confirms it. This is the House of Paths, which appears in both readings. Remember, I was here in the same spot in both games. They were absolutely on the right track. Each one with their own research. But they were, and I have the House of the Key. House 5. The House of the Rings. The House of the Stars. And House 26. Somehow these 10 scientists, they had something in common, not just working at NASA. They had something related to freedom of humanity. There's a very strong connection here, from what I can see, to something that could free humanity either from terrible diseases or from excessive spending. In summary, these 10 scientists knew too much. All of them. They were at the forefront of research that could benefit humanity. But don't forget, an enslaved, impoverished, and struggling humanity is easy to control. And all these 10 scientists who, from what I can clearly see here, were succeeding, according to our research, in finding common ground. And to help all of humanity along with this research, a leap towards freedom so there are no more excessive expenses, or also in relation to diseases, together. In other words, besides all of that, they also knew too much. The 9th house confirms it again. What led to the disappearance and death of these 10 scientists was an attempt to silence them. You can be absolutely sure of that. They were silenced. And I'll tell you more, and I'll say it with great regret. More people will be silenced. Because there's someone who knows too much as well. More people will be silenced. It didn't stop there. Unfortunately, after many investigations, as I said, they give a pretty lousy answer, right? But they knew too much, and they had taken a very big step for all of us. And they lost their lives because of that. And do you know why? Because the owners of the world want to keep controlling us. Let's wake up. All right? That's what it's about. Well, don't forget, pretty please, leave a like, Otherwise, YouTube won't recommend it to you when there's a video tomorrow. And it doesn't recommend these predictions to other people who also need to know the truth and the light, okay? Open your eyes. We are controlled all the time. Yes, we live in a matrix where we're controlled all the time. And everyone who wakes up from this matrix in some way is persecuted. But we have to have faith. We have to stay focused. And humanity is taking a step into the fifth dimension. Many, like these scientists, pay with their own lives because they give us a better humanity for knowing too much or for disagreeing with something they didn't want to do. All of them. But we have to take that leap. We need to awaken to the truth. All right? Well, I leave all of you with my gypsy blessing, the protection of our Tassara, our patroness. May she cover each of you with her mantle. May our Almighty Father in heaven and our Master Jesus, and may they be present in your home, in your life, in your heart, and in the actions of each of you. And along with mine, I also reinforce and renew as well. Stay in the light until tomorrow if our Heavenly Father allows it and Santa Sarah blesses us. Leave it here in the comments for tomorrow's video, okay? The most requested or most liked comments will be featured. Kiss from the gypsy. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Oh!